Yeah, Meanie in the building.
Opinion so sharp, it cut you in your feelings. Minion with opinion, facts not feelings. Running up the views, yeah, the real ones feel it. Truth with the smoke, I ain't never concealing. Click like sub, I'm the one that's revealing. Scroll through the cap, I break the illusion. Commentary fire, opinion so sharp, it cut you in your feelings. Minion with opinion, fat mic like a gavel, and I'm judged, no losing. Snapbacks, hood facts, yeah, I'm in my bag. Viral with a vision, the facts will make you gag. Minion in the mix, yo DJ, bring it back. Y'all be ducking truth, I be swinging with the facts. They scrolling and trolling, but they still listening. I make them laugh, then I drop the conviction in. Politics, gossip, real life decisioning. Every upload hit like a Rico depositioning.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is the Minion with Opinion here with another video, and hope you guys are doing great. I think that we're gonna have a great show today because there's a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff going on in Dolton that I feel like they don't want to talk about. Some things that I feel like the mayor should probably address. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the update with the school fight that took place where the mom attacked the young girl. I'm gonna share an update with you guys on that. Then we're gonna talk about the new school board superintendent because they are getting a staggering daily salary, which, you know, we're gonna talk about the history of this school board, School District 148, and why this may not be a good move, especially when we're talking about the children. And that's the most important part. I think a lot of people are trying to line their pockets, but at the end of the day, we have to stay focused on the children that are being impacted. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. I also have I also want to do a review on this Abby Phillips segment where there was another school shooting. So we're going to talk about that. And then Dolton had a video released from the code enforcers. So we're going to talk about that video as well. So a lot to get cover in this particular video. We may cover it all, we may not. But first things first, I do want to say, of course, you know how we have to start off every show.
What's up? What's up? Yo, Duque, pick up the phone. Yo. What's up? What you doing, son?
All right, guys. So yeah, what's up? How y'all doing? If you are joining in, don't hesitate to speak. I also want to. What's good, Chris? What's good? Well, first things first. Let's talk about. You guys remember what happened this Monday, where the fight took place with this mom that's on the screen. And she was involved in a fight, her and her daughter. You guys can see it there. And there was a debate as to whether or not this was a rat tail comb or if this was a knife that she was holding. I think it's pretty clear to see that it was a knife. Well, they have found, allegedly, the person who's responsible for it. They've actually found her Facebook page. So as you guys can see here, that's her Facebook page. I don't want to share the information until, it is actually proven that this is the actual person. But until then, I do want you guys to know that the Facebook page of the alleged, assailant or assaulter or whatever you want to call her is been found. And then of course, just like All in the Queue, what's up, All in the Queue, said there was a police report filed. So hopefully we're gonna see justice for this person real soon. Chris Allen says, let me see here. I've been away, but I'm here for it today. Okay. All right, Chris. Yeah. Well, so yeah, Monday there was a fight. It was between some school students, and unfortunately the mom got involved and she brought a weapon to the little kids' fight. Yeah, so not looking real good for Dolton schools right now. Unfortunately, no one has really came out and made a formal statement against what's going on. The first day that I noticed this, it was posted in Dolton Politics. A few hours later, they had removed it from Dolton Politics. But since my video, I see that the Dolton Politics page has allowed for that post to come back up, and a few other people have reposted it. So, hey, I don't know what's going on with that, but if you want more information, you could probably find some information in the Dolton Politics page. But yeah, the update is that a lot of the information about this woman is being found out. There was also a post from her nephew that I don't want to put up, but there was a post from her nephew who also basically said that she could do whatever she want to do. This is how they roll. So these are the type of people we definitely need to get off the streets. All in the Queue did a call to action yesterday. And I don't know if she was successful in getting any additional videos, but I'm pretty sure if she was, she will let us know. So if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to her channel, All in the Queue. I'll see if I could put it in the chat. All right. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, guys, is the Dolton School Board 148. Okay, so Dolton School Board 148. Let me make this a little bigger so we can see it. According to the Chicago Tribune, this is where we're getting the information from. They just approved a contract for interim superintendent, which means a temporary superintendent, at a rate of $1,500 per day. $1,500 per day. So let's read this report. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, see if we can see. Okay, so it says, less than 2 weeks ago, after Superintendent Kevin Nolte announced his abrupt retirement, the Dolton West Elementary District 148 board approved a contract for his interim replacement Tuesday. Sheila Harrison Williams will be paid $1,500 a day for up to 120 days, according to the board president, Shalonda Randall. Students returned to the District 148's 10 early schoolhood, elementary, and junior high schools last week. Harrison Williams said despite the district making headlines for Nolte's $450,000 salary, which the board voted in March to increase by $30,000 over each of the following 2 years, district community members have welcomed her with open arms. Of course they did. They don't mind just dishing out the taxpayers' dollars. They don't, they're not invested in taxpayers' dollars and making sure that they're spent responsibly. But let's keep reading. Randall said, has seen Harrison Williams make a positive impact at other struggling districts. Harrison Williams was superintendent of Hazel Crest District 152.5 for 18 years and received the National Alliance of Black School Educators Superintendent of the Year award. When you hear of people doing great things in the area, you think of those people when you need that support and help, Randall said. In his retirement letter dated August 14th, Nolte blamed board members, including Randall, for his job difficult and targeting him with harassment and bullying. He said he chose to retire after Randall declined his offer to buy out his contract. The board president and certain board members have undertaken a smear campaign against me, riddled with baseless allegations, innuendo, and repeated threats of investigation and discharge, the letter said. Nolte said at one point, a board member said his being a white man in a majority black district is a reason he had to leave. Randall said the district has not started its search for a permanent superintendent, but said she plans to hire someone at a reasonable salary comparable to those paid by neighboring districts. All right, so we only got a little bit more. Let me just go ahead and get through this real quick, y'all. The last part of this report states that now, and I want to be clear, I know Randall was one of the people who spoke up against Kevin Nolte in the beginning. And she, did vote not to extend his contract. But at the same time, while that was a good move for the school district, because they shouldn't have extended his contract, and I'm going to tell you guys why in just a second. I don't agree with the fact that they are putting in place a interim superintendent, which means they're not even going to be that, I don't know how invested they're going to be into making sure that there's a positive change, in this school district. Maybe they will, maybe they want it to be permanent, so they'll, prove themselves. But I think that it should not be at a rate of $1,500 a day. If you guys do the math, that means that in just $1,500 a day in 1 month, that is $45,000. That is absolutely absurd. That is absurd. So let me know, guys, what you think. Do you think that just because, and also if you are a teacher or if you are an educator or if you are invested in making sure that kids have a good education, then the sacrifice that comes with being in the education, and teaching in that career, because most teachers are underpaid and overworked. So the teachers do all the work, and the superintendents that don't really do anything are the ones who basically get the benefit. I mean, you guys let me know. Do y'all think that that is the way that, we should be doing things? I don't know. And so, yeah. Okay. So 37,000. Is that 37,000 a month? 37,000 is still a lot a month. I ain't get my calculator out, but it basically equals up to $450,000 a year is what It's Crazy said. All in the Q said that's about $37K a month. What's good, Goldfish? Happy that you did catch the live. That salary is absolutely ridiculous. Like, what the helly? And what's good, Dave Bryson? What's good, Chris Allen? Grown-ups are definitely supposed to de-escalate. I know this is an old comment from the previous update about that school fight, but yes, you're absolutely right. So let me just get through with the last part of this. I watch TV. I hear things Harrison Williams said about the district's reputation. I saw the opportunity to do what's right for kids and make sure that they have a fighting chance. Randall said Randall said has been Harrison. Oh wait, never mind. I'm sorry. Let me go down. When the board voted to increase Nolte's salary, Randall said she was not included in the discussions about the terms of the approved contract. Other board members said that they voted to boost Nolte's salary because the former superintendent stayed on past his previous contract's June 2022 end date while the board searched for his replacement. This was not something premeditated, pre-planned, or orchestrated for money purposes. Board member Larry Lawrence said at the time under the new contract, Nolte was required to mentor his selected successor for 1 year as they acclimated to the district's top job. Randall said board plans a special meeting on September 3rd at its administrative office at this address. More information will become available on the district's website. Okay, so that is the article. The reason why I went ahead and read the entire article to you guys is because for some reason the Chicago Tribune may charge you to actually read the article. I don't know what that's about. So I went ahead and read the article for y'all. So if they try to, you ain't got to pay. Cause that's kind of crazy. All right, anyways. So, and the reason why this is important, guys, Chris Allen says that's actually $540,000 a year if you do the calculation. So, it's definitely too high. Whatever the amount ends up being is too much money, especially when you have a failing school district. You have scores far below the average. In fact, about 5 months ago, I released a video about Kevin Nolte that we're going to take a look at. We're going to look at a little bit of it so you guys can get an idea of the person that this superintendent is replacing and why it's actually a big deal and maybe a big problem for them to be paying her $1,500 a month. So let's look at this video real quick.
Dolton School District 148, a place where the children are predominantly black and the resources are mysteriously scarce, and somehow, a white man with the resume of a repeated lawsuit defendant is at the helm. Enter Kevin Nolte, or as I like.
And you guys see who that is. Him, Tiffany, Kwame Raoul. So, but yes, if you look up his name in the Cook County court, court records, he's definitely been a defendant many times in a lot of cases, just so you guys know.
To call him the overseer of underachievement. Now, if you're sitting there asking, who is Kevin Nolte? Don't worry, you're not alone. Most people don't know because mediocrity isn't exactly newsworthy. But his alleged corruption, that definitely made headlines.
And that lady right here, she had to quit, or something happened. I can't even remember. It was so much stuff that I found out about this man during my investigation, but this is the video I made. So let's continue looking because I haven't even seen this video in a while.
Lucky for you, I did my homework. Unlike what's happening in Dolton under his leadership. Before we get into this
oh, and this is his fiance, supposedly wife right now. They should be married by now, but this was his fiance at the time of me doing the video.
Disaster of a superintendent, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Because trust me, by the time we're done, you're gonna have opinions. Kevin Nolte is a man who has managed to fail upwards more times than a kid with a No Child Left Behind waiver. He's been with Dolton School District 148 since 2017.
All right, so y'all see that he's been with this school district since 2017.
And while you'd expect 7 years of experience to lead to progress, all he's really done is keep the wheels of dysfunction well greased. Let's break down his highlights. Multiple lawsuits, because what's a career without some spicy litigation? An attempted retirement that turned into a contract extension.
And this is Shalonda Randall right here. She was speaking up against, at the school board meeting, against him getting a raise. And this is basically what she had to say.
Not supporting a contract for the superintendent simply because we did accept his retirement letter in June of 2022. And I feel that we should keep that and honor that was unanimously decided upon to accept the retirement. So I'm not for extending any contract or giving a new contract for the superintendent because we've already voted to accept the retirement.
Because why stop collecting checks now? Running a predominantly black school district while black kids in Dolton can't read at grade level. But hey, at least he's consistent. Now let's talk legal drama, because what's a Dolton leader without a laundry list of lawsuits? Before Dolton, Kevin Nolte was the assistant superintendent for business at Lincoln.
Well, this is one of the lawsuits. It's crazy. He had one actual lawsuit against him from the Lincolnwood School Board that he was working at prior to 148. And 148 decided after he was terminated from this that he was qualified, well qualified to be a superintendent for Dolton School District.
Lincolnwood School District 74. That is, until they told him, like Mary Avon told Tiffany Henyard, and
unasked that seat.
And unlike Dolton School Board, Lincolnwood actually had standards. Now, if you ask Nolte why he was fired, he'll whine about wrongful termination.
So at the time that he got actually terminated, he actually was seeking to get a settlement from the school for $250,000. I'm sorry, y'all, this is fly that's flying around. I had the door open because I was trying to let my dog out. But he was seeking $250,000, stating that he you guys are gonna see. I think I actually go through it on here.
And emotional distress. Seriously, he tried to sue for $250,000 in damages.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
But the school board had receipts. And oh boy, they were nasty. Here's why Lincolnwood told Kevin to take his incompetence elsewhere. He lied to auditors about inaccurate account balances. He hid an audit report that exposed the district's financial mess. He gave false information in response to a FOIA request. He fumbled an accounting system and ignored staff complaints. He mishandled district funds to the point of defaulting on payments. He lied to the community and board members about the district's finances.
This is all of the allegations basically that he did while he was a superintendent at Lincolnwood. Not at Dolton, but at Lincolnwood. So
a tradition he proudly continues in Dolton. He forgot to apply for a tax exemption for the superintendent's vehicle. He let board members spend recklessly with no oversight.
So they was able to spend however they wanted to spend.
He lost a state grant check. No, seriously.
He lost a state grant check, meaning that he didn't know where it went, who spent it. He didn't have any account for it. What's good, Javar? What's up?
Lost the check. How do you lose a whole check? He delayed communication about improper federal grant spending because sweeping corruption under the rug always works. He straight up put himself before the district, which is a polite way of saying he didn't give a damn. So in summary, this man was a walking financial disaster. He didn't just fumble the bag, he lost it, set it on fire, and blamed the smoke on someone else. And after all that, what happened? Dolton School District 148 looked at this train wreck of a career and said, yep, that's who should be our superintendent. Make it make sense.
I asked that we give him a new contract for 1 year. That 1 year will constitute an increase of $30,000.
No increase.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I understand that, but that's the amount, and I promised that I would be able to share that amount. So in total, in the next 2 years, Dr. Note's contract will increase $60,000.
Let's be real. If you wanted to keep a black community uneducated, underserved, and under control, what would you do? You'd put someone like Kevin Nolte in charge. Test scores, failing, student resources, bare minimum. His salary, bigger than ever. Oh, and when he tried to retire, Dolton School Board was like, nah, stay, here's more money.
So in total, in the next 2 years, Dr. Note's contract will increase $60,000 total.
Because apparently keeping black kids academically crippled is a full-time
so
job.
let's just go
But don't worry,
over
this isn't just about
the
Kevin.
numbers.
Oh no, we're getting into his fiancée Adrain Bibbs next, because birds of a corrupt feather definitely flock
this is his
together.
wife.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so we'll go even look at this part. All right, but I do have another video about Kevin Nolte. If you guys want to check that video out, it'll actually go over the numbers for what's going on in Dolton School Board 148, like how low they were. And so, yeah, this was probably just to kind of give you guys a background on the person that they put in place to be the superintendent. That's who they put in place to be the superintendent, and gave him a raise every year, right? And so, hey, what's good? What's good, Mr. LC2U? We got him in the building, okay. Man, we just trying to go over what's going on in Dolton. It's crazy. We got a new superintendent taking the place of this scumbag superintendent that we just looked at, and now she's getting paid $1,500 a day. So, you know, I just don't understand what Dolton got going on. Then you have the kids at the school with their parents that's literally assaulting the other kids. So they got a lot of stuff that's going on. But while we in Illinois, while we in the south suburbs, I did want us to look at another story that was just released a day ago about the Country Club Hills superintendent. So this is also in Illinois. So y'all, let's look at this real quick. And I want to know what you guys think about what is going on in Illinois. I know I got my hood on and make my head look a little lopsided, but it's better. The reason why I have the hoods on, y'all, is because when I take it off, because I don't have a green screen, you get that white part in between. So I like to have the hood on because then it's just a solid, even though it look crazy, but who cares? All right, so now it look real crazy. All right. But let's look at this video, y'all. So let's look at this Country Club Hills video. And
We're following the latest developments in South Suburban Country Club Hills. That's where parents are fed up with what they say is mismanagement of that district.
The school board meeting tonight and making leadership changes. WGN's Jenna Barnes is here now with more on this tonight.
And these are changes that parents have been calling for, some even refusing to enroll their children in the district if the superintendent still had his job. He'd previously been suspended for 10 days. Tonight, he was suspended indefinitely.
I would like the approval to suspend without pay Superintendent Dr. Main.
The Country Club Hills District 160 School Board making a move parents have been demanding for.
so they made the move to go ahead and suspend the superintendent, and they're gonna tell you exactly why in just a second. But it's crazy because it sounds like the same scheme that all of these superintendents and all of these people in power are doing in Illinois. What is going on? Trina, what's good? What is going on, Trina? What's going on? Hold on.
months amid allegations of district mismanagement and overspending on luxury hotels, meals, and more. The board voted to suspend Superintendent Dr. Dwayne Main indefinitely and
he looked like he's corrupt, don't he? Dwayne Main, he looked corrupt. A lot of these people that's in power look corrupt, though, to be honest.
Without pay, and replace him with an interim superintendent.
Our children are being taught core classes by substitute gym teachers. I can accept failure, but I cannot accept not trying.
Sequoia Williams is a mom who's been outspoken since the beginning. This summer, WGN Investigates revealed in the past 2.5 years, the district spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on hotels, food, including high-end steakhouses, and travel, while parents said their kids were losing extracurriculars, transportation, and their fears around safety were growing.
So how are y'all decreasing the amount of transportation for the kids, but y'all increasing the salaries of the superintendent? That is wild. So I'm glad that the parents finally stepped in, but this is the same, parents, you gotta step in Dolton. I don't know what's going on in Dolton, but y'all gotta step in because something is going on in Dolton school boards across the board, actually. Even, y'all gotta step in. It gotta be more people coming and holding these administrations accountable.
He's the one that's pretty much allowing all this to happen.
Parents have placed much of the blame on Dr. Main, though the board would say only that the reasons for his suspension were discussed in closed session. Still, Sequoia Williams taking the time to show gratitude for the actions led by the new board president, Sharon Mack.
Being ignored for so long regarding our children has caused real harm, but trust can be rebuilt, and I do believe that you are working towards that. We really, honestly, want to thank you for stepping in for our kids and fixing this.
The board appointed Dr. Denise Julius as interim superintendent. They also plan to appoint a second interim at a later date. Dr. Julius was last listed as the assistant superintendent of specialized services in South Holland, School District 150. Interestingly enough, she was not initially who the board planned to appoint. They had another name on the agenda tonight, but they changed it right at the beginning of this meeting. Ray and Micah.
So they had another person that they were supposed to be announcing, but they decided to go with a different person at the last minute without even telling the public. See, that's that bullshit I be talking about. How the hell you gonna try to be transparent and tell us who the damn superintendent gonna be to replace him and then put somebody different in? That's the stuff I be talking about. Y'all can't be allowing this stuff to take place. They try to hoodwink, bamboozle, and lead us astray. What's good, collectibles? What's good? So glad to have you joining today. All right, let me see. It's crazy, said, where is the superintendent going that they need to spend on flights and food? Exactly. Exactly. For real, if a child can't read, it should be like no standing room at school board meetings. I totally agree with you. It's crazy. Well, so y'all let me know, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that this is ridiculous about what's going on in the school districts? You have the fights, you have the fighting, you have the salary in the Dolton school district, you have the poor grades that are coming from the students in the school district in Dolton. Then I know that if you guys are tuning in to All in the Queue, then you guys saw super producer talk about the new sheriff, the new police chief that's supposed to be sweared in on this upcoming meeting in Dolton, and how his record is a little bit questionable, right? And they weren't told of any of the other candidates or the other potential people who, could have possibly taken on that role. So they don't know if this man is the best option for the job, or, you know, they don't know anything. So that's another thing that needs to be questioned when it comes to Dolton. And then the last thing as it relates to Dolton, guys, is they just released this video on code enforcement, okay? And before I get into the last video that I wanted to talk about, which is about a school shooting, so just FYI, let me finish talking about Dolton, because the Dolton, I guess, administration just released a video of a code enforcer talking about some of the issues in Dolton, and I wanted us to look at it together, and let's dissect this video a little bit, and y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. Okay. I don't know if that music gonna be copyright or whatever the case may be. See, this is so unnecessary. Why do they even have all this at the beginning of the video?
Simple. Property maintenance. Code Enforcement Director Brian Thigpen walks us through why it matters
Thigpen is the
and
person.
what every homeowner should know.
I should have took the background music out.
Known issues in Dolton that is, well, I'm sorry, becoming known is people not keeping their gutters properly cleaned. And the reason your gutters need to be properly cleaned is because in the wintertime, if they aren't clean.
So the first problem that I have with this video, guys, is the pointing the finger. The first thing that you do when introducing yourself as the code enforcer is start pointing the finger, talking about one of the big problems is people not cleaning their gutters out properly. So just saying it's y'all fault. All right, so that's the first thing. I'm not, you know, some people like, okay, that's not a big deal, but I'm gonna tell you why it's a big deal in just a second as we continue to watch this.
That water builds up in there and it has a greater chance of creating ice dams, and then it tends to, you know, make your gutter sag or even potentially bring your gutters down, therefore causing damage to the house, roof damage, and if you're in the driveway, you can damage your car or your neighbor's car.
Okay, so now he's basically saying that if you don't have, you know, the right proper maintenance and your gutters fall, you could damage your car or your neighbor's car. How you know? Okay, all right, sure.
So that's why it's a big emphasis on code enforcement, not to just have your grass cut within 8 inches, but.
And you see this kind of air of like, that's why there's an emphasis on not to just have your grass cut. But, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, I feel like it's an air of looking down on the residents.
Also, make sure you're keeping your...
And like, you know, he's somebody daddy or something.
Alleyways clean. Make sure you're keeping your fence lines clean and making sure your front trees are trimmed up a minimum of 7 feet. A lot of people get it misconstrued that, hey, you know, trees are the village's responsibility. Well, the village ordinance actually states that.
A lot of residents get it misconstrued. Again, that pointing the finger, you know, saying, you know, it's the residents' fault. Cause y'all dumb, y'all can't understand, but let me go ahead and educate you. You know, it's that type of mentality that I really it don't sit well with me, but maybe I'm just being petty. Let's keep watching.
We are in charge of the parkway only when it comes to the utilities that are actually in the parkway. the house owner of that particular, where the parkway butts up to, they're actually responsible for the upkeep of the grass, the bushes, the trees, and things like that. Now the village has.
And why the hell, first off, why are you in your car doing this video? Why are they recording him in the car doing the video? That's the first thing. And then I'm going to look at these comments in just a second before I continue on with this video. Then you have your turn signal going. Like, this shit is, why are you trying to accuse the residents of what they don't know? You trying to educate them, like, in this Tiffany Hilliard mentality. Like, no, we're not responsible for that. What we're responsible for is this, and what you're responsible for is this, and this, and this. Okay, just so you clear. You know, it's kind of like not a very welcoming tone that he's using. It's kind of like that condescending tone, right? But let me look at a couple of these comments because I don't want to get too far. All right. When I hear code enforcement in Dolton, I see Kim, aka Norbert White. Exactly, because that's exactly what it is. What the fuck? What is really changing? A janky new police chief. Laura says, don't forget my wrench. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can do that now because I couldn't find you at first. But let me see if I can do that. Laura, let's see here. I think I can do it in here. There we go. All right, so you should be good. You should be good. All right. You should be good to go, Laura. Javar says, it's okay, man. You're not going to get a copy straight at all. It's an instrumental and it's not been claimed by nobody. And how you doing? It's crazy. Okay. All right. Hopefully. So is his house all up to code? That's what we need to know, right? You trying to talk about everybody else's houses in the village. What your lawn look like? What's good, MC Heavy Waiter? I'm here, just love conscious channel. What's good? What's good? It's crazy. Also said I should have ran in and fell in front of his car. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I know, got you, because he clearly, I mean, he recording the damn infomercial while driving. What the hell? What the helly? What the hell, Alicia? Okay, what's good, Amir? Let's go. All right, I'm gonna give Amir and all you guys. Let's go ahead and give you guys. Amir, thank you for being one of the leaders out there in Harvey and making sure that, you know, you keep everybody banded together. We definitely appreciate you for that. All right. And K-Max says a 20-foot tall tree on the curbside is not a homeowner's responsibility. It's the city's. I like the terminology of hen-yard mentality. I know, right? You are, yay. Uh-oh, we got Miss Sugar in the building. Sorry if I hurt any of y'all ears. All right. He wouldn't even know, okay? He keep going. He probably keep boop, 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 while he recording. We'd hit a bump and he just keep going. He said, what hit resident don't stop no show? We gotta keep recording. All right, y'all, so let's keep going.
In the past as well as currently, if there's an issue with safety to where a tree is actually coming a street light, they can get in touch with the code enforcement department and we can pass that on to Public Works so they can actually come out and trim that tree.
Here's a great example. A Dolton home with manicured grass, trimmed bushes.
Okay, so now guys, this is an example of what the home is supposed to look like, y'all. So just let's just look at the example, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it afterwards. I'm gonna play it all the way through, y'all.
And a clean alleyway.
This is what proper property maintenance looks like. This is what we want to inspire the village, the rest of the village of Dolton. So what we have here is a great example of proper property maintenance within the village of Dolton with this particular house back here. And there is a ton of others.
This is a very, very, very nice house, right? With this nice gate or this nice fence around the lawn. Looks like a very upscale Dolton neighborhood, in my opinion, of what I've seen in Dolton so far. You know, so I guess this is the best example of the average home in Dolton, right?
As well, but we were coming down the street and I was explaining this is what we want to inspire the rest of the Dolton residents and business owners to do with their property. We have.
So you use somebody else's property to shun the other residents, to tell them y'all not good enough because y'all shit don't look like this. If your shit don't look like this, then, you know, this is not the way to inspire other people to want to get you know, what if somebody don't have a 2-story house with a 2-car garage and a fence around it? You know, I mean, if I lived in this house, I would probably be motivated to do this and make sure it looked nice all the time. I'm probably paying a pretty penny, or probably paid a pretty penny for it. There's probably more of an incentive for this person to keep their yard looking like this. But, you know, let's keep watching, y'all. I know I said I was gonna play it all the way through, but.
The grass nicely cut and manicured. The bushes are cut and manicured. And one of our biggest topics that we have issues with, his alleyway is cut as well. Like I said, we have a big issue with the alleyways. Most residents don't understand that you are responsible for what grows behind your property. Whether it's grass, overgrown tree limbs, bushes, your alleyway must be properly maintained, and you must have your address to the property somewhere where emergency personnel can see your address from the rear of the property. If you don't have a fence, you can post the address to the rear of the property on a possible tool shed, or you can post it up at the house. Anytime emergency personnel comes down that alley, they should be able to tell what property they are behind.
Vacant homes can be a challenge, but code enforcement and public works work together to keep them presentable.
All right, so I think those homes that they were just passing by was a more of an accurate representation of the average home in Dolton. But what's up, Ramona? What's up? What's up, Saint Sinner? How y'all doing? Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? All right, but yeah. Hey, you late, but you in. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right, so let's see. Now they're gonna show us what they're doing with the vacant lots. So let's just look real quick.
While the housing department addresses long-term solutions.
Behind me, we have a house that many of you might know has been vacant for years in the village. We just want everybody to know that not just the code enforcement department, but all the way up to the mayor's office, Mayor House, he hears your complaints. We do have contractors that are coming out now to at least cut the grass, to have it looking decent, and we are in the process of trying to extend those services to where we can have the bushes and everything cut down. So we do ask residents, if you have a vacant on your block, or if you just drive through town and see it vacant, please give us a call so we can at least tidy up the property.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I put myself on mute. But y'all, look. Sorry, y'all. I was saying that the crazy thing about this is that this man is probably getting paid on the taxpayer dime to actually do this video and record this video with this horrible audio quality, when his ass need to be with some damn weed whackers or them damn lawn cutting scissors or a lawnmower and doing some damn work. Do some community service, do some volunteer work for the community instead of, you know, using taxpayer dollars to record this horrible ass video. Why are you using the taxpayer dollars? Do some work that's gonna help beautify the damn community. You talking about Mayor House, here's your cries. You are literally driving through the damn village. You can see what needs help. You can see it as you're looking at it. Just take care of it. Why the damn residents gotta tell you what the hell, what houses to go to? This don't even make sense. But I'm gonna also give you guys my actual final thought about this video in just a second, but we're gonna keep watching.
So it's not as much as an eyesore, and we are in the process with the housing department to find the owners or banks that own the properties to see if we can do anything as far as special housing programs or even demolition in some cases. But please, if you see a vacant, let us know. We can get the grass and the bushes cut so it can at least look like this and not be severely overgrown.
And it's not just lawns. Gutters, garbage placement, and even illegal dumping in alleys fall under code enforcement. Residents are responsible for keeping their space safe, clean, and accessible.
This is a prime example of why the code enforcement department exists throughout the United States, because our main focus is property maintenance and upkeep. The house behind me has grass that is taller than allowed ordinance for the village. It also has
so then he go,
we call weed trees. They were weeds that have grown into trees that are bigger than the bushes. The bushes are unkept, and one of the big issues that I explained earlier about the gutters being severely clogged, they have weeds growing out of the gutters themselves. The garbage can is also on the front of the property, which we have a village ordinance against. Garbage cans have to be on the rear or the side of the house. So we're in one of our alleys, and what we have, one of our other major problems, we have illegal.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? You mean to tell me that they actually publish this while he getting interrupted talking? Oh Lord, let's see what they talking about. Maybe he thought that this was gonna have something weed trees. That's what they need, more weed trees out there, huh? All right, let's see.
Oh, you took it.
See, this is the shit I'm talking about. Why are they including this in the video? Why? This is some stupid ass shit.
I'm the code enforcement director. We're talking about the illegal dumping or the fly dumping that's happening within the alley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're not fly dumping, are you? So definitely.
Like, are you kidding me? What was the point? Why add that in there? But let's keep talking. Let's just keep watching, y'all. I think we got a couple more minutes left.
With the fly dumping, if you are fly dumped on, you can contact code enforcement, or you can contact us first. Then we will analyze the situation, see if we can get it removed with the help of our public works department. We understand that not everybody comes into their property, especially if you don't have an entrance in your alleyway. You are still responsible for the upkeep and cleanliness of your alley parkway.
But why are they responsible if they don't have an interest? And there's another thing that I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. But do people know what interest is? Do they know what you're speaking about when you say if you don't have an interest? I don't think a lot of people know what he's talking about when they say if you don't have an interest. But we'll talk about it in just a second.
You have the alley parkway, plus as I mentioned earlier, you also have to make sure that you have your address on the back of the property for emergency personnel. Overgrown weeds and bushes as well as tree branches are the homeowner's responsibility. The village has no responsibility to the upkeep of an alley. In certain situations, if it's a vacant, we will come back there due to public safety. But as far as overgrown weeds growing up in between the fence, weeds growing around the tree perimeter, we ask that you cut those down. And one thing people can use, they do have some that are kid friendly and animal.
These horrible camera angles, horrible.
Friendly, you can get total vegetation killer, so once you keep it down you won't have to cut it as frequently. Another big safety issue, the overhanging tree branches. You can cut any tree branch that overextends your property. It's called the airspace law. You can cut directly up and trim that tree, as well as the ones that are in the front property or back. Please try to strive to make sure they have at least 7-foot clearance. Nobody likes to get out of their car or SUV.
What? I can't. Ugh. All right, y'all. I'm not gonna pause it no more, so we can just get through this so I can give my final thought. There's like actually 2 minutes left right now. I'm gonna let it play through. You guys make sure that y'all are paying attention. I know that his voice and listening to him for a long period of time, it makes you start to drown him out and not even pay attention to his voice anymore. I probably had that same effect on y'all when I be going on my little rants, but let's just try to make it through these next 2 minutes and then I'm gonna give my final thought.
And when they get out there getting hit in the face with tree branches, but that, like I said, that's also a safety factor, so no one can actually hide up under the tree. We ask that the homeowners please keep in mind that they are responsible when they meet in the middle. So we have 14613 on the west side of the alley. We have 14612 on the east side. They are responsible for what grows in the middle, as well as their parkways on each side of their property, as well as their fence line. Make sure your address is also placed on the back of the property. So right now I can say I'm behind 14613 if I need to call something in, or if they get a call saying, hey, at 14613 we believe it might be a suspicious person, or it could possibly be a small fire in the yard when you can't see the smoke or anything yet. When emergency personnel come in the alley, they will know which house to go to. So this is one of the examples where I mentioned earlier that we have a village ordinance that is enforced by code enforcement, where the trees on your property have to be trimmed 7 feet up. That way you're not getting out of your vehicle with a tree branch hitting you in the face, or you're not scratching the car roof or even the car sides when you pull up. This is one of those examples of how low the branches are hanging. We ask that all residents and business owners, if you have trees on the property, please trim those up 7 feet. That way less scratches, and it also helps for safety. Anyone can be hiding up under there, especially if it's a low light situation.
Property maintenance isn't just about rules. It's about pride, safety, and respect for our neighbors. Together, we can keep Dolton clean, safe, and strong.
All right, y'all. So I think that's the last part. I mean, it's 20 seconds left. All right, so there we go. Code enforcement. That's their video that they just released. Now, my thoughts. First thing, let's talk about the fact that let's talk about what we were able to learn in this video. We learned that what the most common infractions from the residents of Dolton are, as it pertains to code enforcement, which is gutters. And we learned that y'all don't do y'all lawns right. We learned that y'all don't keep y'all trees trimmed. We learned that y'all don't keep y'all bushes trimmed properly. That's what we learned. Then we learned what the proper house, what a proper house, a nice looking house with the proper, you know, meeting the right requirements or whatever, what it looks like. We saw that. We saw abandoned houses, and he told us what y'all need to do to make sure that y'all are within the guidelines of whatever their code is. You know what you didn't get out of this? You didn't get any education on how you can do it yourself. He didn't get any shears or cutting shears, or he didn't get a lawnmower. He didn't show you guys how to actually do what he's requiring you guys do. You guys have to figure that out by yourself. But he did take your tax dollars to tell you how bad of a job you're doing, and that if you don't start doing better, there's gonna be repercussions, consequences and repercussions for that ass. That's what he did tell you. He said, this is what you need to have it look like, which was like a really nice house in Dolton. That's what all of y'all need to strive to make sure that y'all lawns look like. And if you can't have it look like that, then you're gonna be out of code. That's what I got from it. Versus what I think he should have done. And he used a lot of jargon in business when you're using words that only the insiders, the people who work inside of the company or the organization, using words that only they would typically know. A lot of times you hear people using acronyms, like in the military. That's called jargon. The reason why it's called jargon is because it gives you an easy way to communicate with your peers and your colleagues without having to use so many words, right? You want to try to shorten it down, make it easy to understand for people, and so you break it down and use jargon. The average person typically doesn't know what jargon means, just like you guys don't know what an interest in the alleyway means. That means that you guys have some type of ownership, but you don't, because it belongs to the village. So if you're acknowledging that it belongs to the village, why are you saying that it's the residents' responsibility to keep it, to maintain the upkeep? That don't even make sense. All right, so that's one of the things. And like I said, there was a lot of jargon being used in this video. There was a lot of cold language. I mean, it didn't feel like he was being very warm. Hold on, yeah. And I mean, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Status Quo said Daltonites are slobs because Cassandra says so. I mean, she did say so. She did say that, didn't she? I know, right? We'll have one. I am running through the bushes with a weed whacker. You best hit that like for. Oh, thank you. My neighbor just gifted me some Stella Rosa. Oh, pour me up a glass. I know that's right. All right, y'all, but that is pretty much my take on what I think about the code enforcement. I think that he should have showed the residents how to trim their lawns properly. He should have showed them how to trim their bushes properly. He should have showed them how to clean the alleyway, what that looks like, how to clean the gutters. He should have got his hands dirty and showed what the process of cleaning gutters looks like. You know, but he looks like he don't even like to get his nails dirty. You know, he might break a nail. He looks too prim and proper. So y'all, that's my opinion. It may be unpopular, I don't care, but that's how I feel about the code enforcement. Now, the last thing Let's see. The mayor ain't even got a house in Dolton. So how he gonna keep up the code enforcement? Tell y'all what to do. Sir, what your house look like? Let's see what your lawn look like. Brittany Norwood, you know, she used to get fines for her damn lawn. So let's see what the trustees' lawns look like. Are they lawns are clean, prim, and proper? Let's see what the code enforcer lawn look like. What your lawn look like? Since you trying to shun and down talk the residents, can you show us what yours look like? Everybody that work in Village Hall lawn better be up to code. You know, I just don't like the fact that, you know, don't try to make it seem like, even if it is the residents' fault, you want to try to encourage the residents to do better. And I don't think placing the blame on them in the manner, making the whole video and calling people out, you know, instead of even showing them how to do it, I don't think that's the right approach. Y'all let me know. But let's move on to my last thing that I want to talk about. I don't even know how many people are even still up in here. But let's talk about, I don't know if y'all watch Abby Phillips, but Abby is one of my girls. I love watching her show because it shows two different sides, Republican and Democratic views. So I like looking at this because it kind of gives me an idea of the mindset of both parties, right? So let's look at this, and this has to do with a, you know, warning. This is going to be talking about a school shooting where 2 students were killed, 14 children, and 3 adults were injured. Okay, so let's look at this, and this is another recent report, I think from about a day ago.
Welcome back. We've been following the latest developments from this morning's tragedy at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. 2 children were killed and pronounced dead at the scene. 3 adults and 14 other children were injured by gunfire. The children all were between the ages of 6 and 15, and 6 are believed to still be in critical condition. And like the other school shootings, too many that this country has become very familiar with, it was followed by a chorus of thoughts and prayers. But Minneapolis's mayor is fed up with that.
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Oh, I'm sorry. This happened in the church. Wait, in the church? Wait, let's keep watching.
These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance.
I mean, you have to agree with that. He didn't say anything wrong, I don't think. But let's see what these people are going to say. You know, she's going to have a panel. And you know, some of them are going to be Republican and some of them are going to be Democrat. So they probably not going to agree on this.
Bakari Sellers and Scott Jennings are here with us now. Bakari, earlier in the show, we played the soundbite from the principal who said, you know, this African proverb, when you pray, move your feet. Yeah. There are many people who want feet to move in the direction of actually addressing what's going on here, rather than just saying it's just something that happens here.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we're kind of past that. I mean, most people realize that when you were able to kill 20 some odd young white children in Sandy Hook and nothing changed, that nothing was really going to fundamentally change in this country. This is another sad tragedy. But the problem is that there's an outrage from the right about Jacob Frey, and I'm not a huge Jacob Frey, mayor of Minneapolis. I'm not a huge fan, but he was right. I mean, the book of James teaches us that faith without works is dead.
Oh, so a lot of people on the right are basically shunning him for saying, basically, yeah, I got it, and we do need to pray. But what comes next? I think that was the message that the man was trying to convey, the mayor. And a lot of people, based on what I'm just hearing Bakari say, is that a lot of people were saying on the right that I guess that was the wrong response.
And so whether or not he was echoing that sentiment or echoing that scripture, I think that there are a lot of people who were tired of thoughts and prayers, because at the end of the day, thoughts and prayers ring hollow. At the end of the day, thoughts and prayers have led us to having more of these deaths, more of these shootings, more of these individuals who were killed inside of churches, inside of schools, in pews.
And people who are I shouldn't say adjudicated, but people who have known mental illness are still able to very easily, it looks like, according to the police chief in Minneapolis recently, could just go in and get 3 guns and then use those guns to murder children in a school.
Yeah, I actually had a negative reaction to the mayor's statements today.
Oh, wow. So here we go. Here he goes. This is a Republican. His name is Scott Jennings. And he basically is saying that he had a negative response to what we just heard, the statement, a piece of what we just heard, because that was just a soundbite from what the mayor said. So he had a negative response to that, and he's going to tell us why.
I think it's wrong, frankly, to vilify or attack people of faith. You said thoughts and prayers ring hollow. I think thoughts and prayers are the most solid on days of tragedy for people who live their faith every day. And I think on a day like today, particularly in a church community, there are probably people praying harder for comfort today than they have ever prayed in their life. And so I think, and I've heard others on the left today go down this line of attack against people of faith, sort of denigrating the idea that they might want to pray today. And so I think his statements were misguided. The thing that struck me today, Abby, truthfully, when I was watching this unfold, was that the 2 little ones that died were 8 and 10. I have 7 and 9. Those are my 2 youngest. They turn 8 and 10 in a few days. And we could probably sit here and argue out all the issues of faith and transgenderism and all the other things that have been raised today, but it strikes me that none of us ever want to know the terror and the absolute empty hole that will never be filled that those parents of the 8 and 10-year-old are going to feel. And I just thought maybe tonight the most useful thing any of us could do would take 10 seconds and just sit quietly and be still and be quiet and think about those families, because they are never going to be the same.
Yeah, the first thing that I want to say in response to this bullshit response that Scott Jennings just gave, and the reason why I'm going to tell y'all it's bullshit, is because if you guys have been keeping up with what's been going on in the world globally, then you guys know what has been taking place. A lot of people says that they call it an ethnic cleansing. Some people have called it genocide, but you guys know what has been happening in Gaza. And a lot of those Palestinians are being starved to death. Not only being starved, but also being killed. You know what I'm saying? These are children, mothers, old people that's, men trying to support their kids. And when they talk about that on this show with Abby Phillip, when they talk about it on her show, Scott never has any remorse for any of those kids, any of those families. He speaks about it so coldly, like he does not give one care about those people being starved or losing their lives. So I don't want to hear this, whatever he is trying to call himself giving right here, because have that same energy for the people in Gaza who are being starved to death. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to be selectively outraged when it suits your narrative.
No matter what we say.
They aren't. And I think that this is, so many times I've sat in this chair all hours of the day and night, and it doesn't matter what time of day, what day of the week, there's another mass shooting in this country. There are people like Senator Chris Murphy, who represents Connecticut, where Sandy Hook happened. I remember when that happened, and again, many people thought we were how could we allow this to happen again? It did many times since then, but Chris Murphy tonight was speaking with my colleague Anderson Cooper, and he actually points out something I don't think people have noticed. He says mass shootings have been going down, and here's what he's saying is why.
The rate of mass shootings and school shootings in this country is coming down, not going up. And it started coming down in 2022 when we passed the first significant anti-gun violence bill in 30 years. We now have proof of concept in this country that if you are more careful about putting guns in the hands of dangerous people, you can save thousands of lives. The mythology that the gun lobby has disseminated across this country for decades, that more guns makes us more safe, that's just empirically false.
I am one of those people who say when you do something like if you get a gun, you're basically setting yourself up to have to eventually use it. You know what I'm saying? If we could actually believe that, you know, law enforcement was there to protect us when we called, I think there definitely needs to be some reform on the gun laws in America. It shouldn't be so easy to access guns. Shouldn't be so easy to get a gun license. So yeah, I think I agree with this man when he says that, you know, if you take the guns out of the hands of a lot of people who probably shouldn't have them, then you will see gun violence go down. But if you are with this ideology that guns make us safer, so everybody should have a gun, then you are setting yourself up for people to be able to have access to the resources needed to conduct mass shootings and stuff like that. So I think I agree with this guy.
What do you think about that, Philippe?
At the end of the day, you know, possessing a firearm is a big responsibility. And at the day now that we have mental health issues constantly being at the center of all these shootings, we have to do something to address that. You know, like I said before, in law enforcement, we would actually coach people to, you know what, turn yourself in, basically go in as a self-admitted person. This way you won't be detained in the mental health facility for a great amount of time. And at the end of the day, it comes to bite us back because the person's not really getting the help that they should. And we do have a mental health crisis.
Yeah. Well, we do have a mental health crisis, but I do want to say, first of all, as a psychologist, I think it's important that we don't stigmatize people who do have mental health challenges, mental health problems. They're the ones who are victimized more often. That being said, going back to the situation of prayers, I think prayers are important, Scott, but I think people want more than prayers at this point. They're really angry. What are we doing in government? What are we doing in federal government that seems to be pulling back from gun violence prevention, from community safety and so on? So yes, prayer is important. I pray all the time. I'm praying for those families. But what are we going to do after the prayers? How are we going to come together as a society, as politicians, bipartisan action to be able to protect children? How long will we allow them to be collateral damage due to our ideological difference?
Yeah, that's a good question, Scott. What happens?
That's true. And I think a lot of people, I think some people even said it, hold on, let me say, Shanita says, oh yeah, be careful on your trip to Las Vegas. I saw that comment up there somewhere. But yes, make sure that you stay safe. And thank you for being here with me while you're making your trip to Las Vegas. Okay, but you said I'm in Arizona, and baby, the gun laws are so relaxed here. Let me put it back up. And baby, the gun laws are so relaxed here. I am an owner. I go to the range and have taken a class. Sad to say, but I'm a black woman in felon 47 supported state. And they can be nuts. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If it was that easy for somebody with mental illness just to go in and go, I need help we wouldn't have all these problems. That's why they have mental illness. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of stuff that's contributing to people's mental instability that's being caused by the government as well. I bet God looking down on this creation with utter disgust that what we've become. You know, I definitely agree with you, Saint Sinner. It's crazy where we're at. And that also brings me to the next thing that I wanted to say, because I feel like now, you know, the thing about, and we were talking about law enforcement, you know, the thing about law enforcement is that a lot of the law enforcement now are the people who used to wear those white cones on their head, right? Those white cloths all over their body. Those are the people who are in law enforcement right now. And so you have to deal with that, you know, and how do you protect yourself if you're not armed? You know what I'm saying? In case something happens to you. And a lot of police officers, you know, instead of being you know, apolitical and not having to do with the politics, they are very much, you know, MAGA supporters and stuff like that. Those are the people that are doing ICE raids. Those are the people that are in law enforcement. You know, those are the people that's in the DOJ, FBI right now. So this new administration has been completely like radicalized. So
after, I mean, what should happen now to stop this
Well,
from your perspective as a Republican?
Sure. Well, I think the first question you have to ask is, why did it happen? I don't think it happened because of guns. I think it happened because somebody who was clearly suffering from severe mental illness
had access to weapons that would allow them to carry out.
That's why I love Abby. She got his ass together. He was like, I don't think this is about guns. I think this is about somebody with a severe mental illness. And she was like, that had access to guns. Like, at the heart of it, if the person could have a mental illness, but what makes it dangerous is their access to guns, not the mental illness. So what are you talking about? But again, let's let Scott have his moment, because, you know, he thinks that what he says is just, you know, he's killing it. He always thinks that he's annihilating his opponents. So let's listen to what he has to say.
What a terrible shooting.
And the mental illness was encouraged.
But Scott, what about people?
It's the facial expressions for me that really make me just like, oh, he is such a creep.
People who don't have mental illness.
I don't think we can tiptoe around this issue. And when you look at the messages that were written in some of the materials and on the weapons that we've seen, I mean, this person obviously was in a dark place.
Obviously.
And I want to know,
obviously.
I'm not sure the government is in that person's life enough to know, but his parents are.
But what
and his
about,
family is.
Scott, what about people who don't have mental illness? We have a huge gun violence issue here in the United States. We lead in gun violence.
But the issue today is quite obviously mental illness. And
if you take away the mental illness,
respectfully,
it still leads
I think
to guns.
the problem is that this issue can't be isolated in a vacuum of today.
And that's exactly what Scott is trying to do. He's trying to deflect and say, well, let's just look at these people today, the incident that happened today. Let's do a moment of silence for these people. But what about the big issue, stopping this from happening in the future so you don't have to have a moment of silence? Like, it's not about just talking about today. It's about talking about the real issue and how you can actually get it resolved. But Scott Jennings, that's not what he's interested in. He's interested in milking this for today.
And I think, to your point,
I agree.
Mental illness is a cop-out for today, which is also why I believe that, you know, I love how the GOP believes that that's God's only party, right? But you have people of faith on both sides.
I don't believe that. We're all God's children, McCarty.
There are people of faith on both sides who are giving their prayers, but who also believe that action is required. Because you asked the question, what happens after the prayers? Well, in this country, what happens after the prayers is that there's another shooting. And the problem is, it's the damn guns. Like there is a mental health problem in this country. I have a CWP. In fact, I took my CWP class with Governor Nikki Haley. We sat beside each other. We went shooting together. That is not foreign in South Carolina. I believe in that amendment and that right. However, the accessibility of weapons is something we have to deal with. Mental health resources is something we have to deal with. And the fact that people get killed in churches, whether or not it's June 2015 in Charleston, South Carolina, or whether or not it's kids in Minnesota who get killed, I mean, as a person of faith, it should shake your faith to the core that people are getting gunned down in churches.
Everyone,
and other
thank you very
houses
much.
of worship.
We have to leave the conversation
And other houses of
there.
worship.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back in a moment.
Bakari, sometimes he be on it. I love listening to him respond sometimes. Sometimes I think he takes too much of a nice, what do you call it? What are they calling it now? Political it's not diplomacy. It's like, what do they call it? Because they're talking about it's over. Like we need to do away with what they call, it's like this etiquette that, a lot of Democrats have that is not serving them. Because when you look on the right side with these Republicans, they say exactly what they want to say without trying to hold their tongue, without trying to really monitor the way that they say it or what comes out their mouth. In fact, I would argue that their intent is to be as brash and polarizing as possible. So the fact that the Democrats have taken on this policy of when they go low, you go high, it just hasn't been working for them. In 2025, the American population is not looking for no nice politician because they feel like that's fake anyway. You being fake. Because you don't even talk like that in your real life. So don't be coming on here acting, all holier than thou, trying to make us believe that you always thinking about our best interest, because you're not. You know what I'm saying? I think that the people are tired of that. So while Bakari is right, and I did like the way that he responded this time, sometimes he'd be taking a more, I don't want to ruffle any feathers approach that. I'd be like, come on, you could do it a little harder than that. All right, but that is the Abby Phillips about the shooting, the school shooting. So there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in these schools, and what's even worse is that this happened in a church. I don't know if the school was attached to the church, or the church was attached to the school, or if they went to a field trip, but it is all in all a very, very sad story. It's a very tragic story. And my thoughts, and my prayers do go out to the families that were impacted by this mass shooting. And you guys keep them in your prayers as well. But at the same time, the conversation was right. Where do we go from here? How do we fix the problem? How do we keep this from being a headline on the news? So that's that. We talked about Dolton and what's going on in the school boards, and we talked about what's going on with that fight and the code enforcement. All right. So before we go into the last part, which I know you guys probably came here for anyway, because we're going to go ahead and look at what Jedidiah had to say while he was in DC. So we're going to look at that real quick. But before we get into the Jedidoodoo of it all, before we get into that, y'all, first off, I haven't even said this on the whole show, y'all. Make sure that y'all hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Excuse me. I've had Carrie moments not filmed. I had one ring my bell. He regretted it. Ooh, I wish I could have seen that, Shanita. We like those moments. No, Laura, it's not over the court date coming up in October. I need to know what you guys are talking about. That's true. Just not knowing affects people's mental health or concerns about health care. Laura says, I'm in West Kentucky. I have been shooting my entire life. I am 50, I ain't gonna say, if I don't have protection, I am just not safe. Exactly. I mean, that's the way a lot of us feel in today's society. Everybody needs to, in Texas, it's, you can have open carry. So it's definitely, everybody has a gun out here, but do I think everybody should have one? No. Look, it's the wild, wild west out there in Arizona, Saint. I don't think everybody should have a gun though. Everybody don't need a gun. Laura, I'm ready. I have prepared myself. Okay, I don't know. Oh, let me, I don't know what y'all talking about. So Ramona, maybe you could fill me in on what y'all talking about in this chat. She has him looking constipated. She doesn't know. He doesn't know how to respond. Exactly. That's why I love her. Look, I'm fun size. He constipated me. That's the expression that, okay, yes, I definitely agree. All right. It's the people's rights being violated, period. Exactly. And I have been to Vegas. Okay, y'all. Y'all do what Shanita said and hit that like button, y'all, please. All right. I'm pushing his narrative. He don't give a damn about what happened to these people or these children. He don't care. No, he don't. And if you guys ever watch Abby Phillip, then I want you, and if you guys have not watched Abby Phillip, and if after you guys saw this response that he gave today, I want you to go look at some clips from Newsnight, Abby Phillip, and I want you guys to tell me if y'all think that man was being sincere when he was talking about how devastating it is for the parents and the kids and how to take 10 seconds. Now, we on a time show. We can't take no 10 damn seconds of silence, but you trying to have a talking point so that you can look like you doing something. But that's not how this program works. 10 seconds is like 30 minutes when it comes to TV. So no, we can't have no 10-second moment of silence, but we can talk about it. But yeah, he always with the shit, y'all. For some states, it's less foreign than others. Yeah, especially in the South. I love Bakari when he reads with intelligence, and I think that's the redeeming quality that he has, because while he's not as aggressive as the right-wing pundits that come on to speak, he does speak with intelligence, and he always makes them look like they are so stupid and childish. So I appreciate that about him, and I hope he doesn't change. He doesn't need to become boisterous and loud. I just sometimes when they're doing it, I just kind of hope that he would take the reins on and do it himself as well. Gavin Newsom is definitely killing it. He is killing it. I love everything. And you know what? Maybe we'll do a show where we talk about all the crazy stuff that Gavin Newsom has been doing to Trump, because it has been hilarious. I don't know if you guys have been laughing, but Gavin Newsom has kept me rolling every time I look at his posts. So we love Gavin Newsom over here too. Oh, it was a Catholic school. Okay. Probably I attended a Catholic school. They are usually in the same building. Okay. Yeah, so I attended catechism, which is like Catholic school. So we did have to go throughout the week, but I went to a regular school as well. No, I mean, well, you did miss a lot if you just not coming in. He kicked you out of Dolton politics? Shut up. He couldn't have I know you lying. Look, she's like, I came for all the content, not just the Jedidiah. Okay. if he only did this because he hates Christianity, then yeah, a disturbing case. Javar, I don't know if you watch Abby Phillips, but I think that you should definitely, or let me know if you watch them before I even say it. What's good, JJ Johnsy? What's up? What is good? I'm gonna give you a good old, let's see if we got some, I think I got some sounds. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna give you a... All right. Let's see here. I'm going through the chat. Good. GN is the bomb, hilarious. Catechism is through the church to take your first communion. Yeah, right. I did that. And then, but that's it. I didn't go to Catholic school. I ain't go to like an official Catholic school, like, you know. All right, that's good to hear. All right, y'all. All right, we got the messages out the way. Let's go to what y'all been waiting for. I already know. So let's get into the Jedidoodoo of it all. So we're gonna watch this video, guys, and let's see what he is doing out there up in DC. Are y'all excited? I'm excited to see what he's doing in DC. Maybe he's doing some advocacy.
What's good, family? This is your boy Jedidiah, and I just kind of wanted to come on here and document this final statement. Basically, hopefully you've been paying attention and you are aware of what I've been doing, and that is I spoke on the National Guard coming to Chicago.
All right, guys, I'm also gonna play some of these comments that you guys see on the side. These right here, I can go ahead and post them up here on the screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and post them up here so y'all see what the people had to say about Jedidiah, just so you know we can see how the people are reacting.
And so I felt that it was the right thing to do to also come to Washington, D.C. and get an understanding of things and a view of things for myself. And obviously for a fact, but this is not hard to find, several corners. I think he changed the light for me, but several corners throughout the city, people are, police officers, police cars are stationed with their lights flashing. A few minutes ago, you just saw they had.
So guys, you see he's posted up in front of a police car, it looks like, that was flashing lights in front of his dumb ass, but I guess this is what he do for dramatic effect. Maybe this makes it look like he's actually doing something out in DC, so he decided to go ahead and, you know, post in front of a police car. So the people can say, oh, look. And you see what these people are saying, be safe, Commander. Oh, y'all know he also got to give his cash app, you know, Boosie. Got to make sure you give the cash apps. Then you got people on here, the bright light is going to try to destroy your recording. DC is not at all bad, in my opinion. There are many other cities just like are much worse than DC at this time. I wish I could much the real reason of this post, but not enough space. This takeover was not a needed task. And thank you. Overall,
on the reds and the blues, and now he just turned on the brights. And so even in that, I would say, is that like community service? Is that a, you know, I don't know. Is this to help me so that I can have better lighting during this broadcast? Is it so that he can see me better with what I'm doing? I don't.
So he decided to post up doing a recorded video in front of the police car and then pretend like he don't know why. No, succeeding. This is from about a day ago. And pretend like he don't know why the bright lights are on him, why the police put the bright lights on him. Are you stupid or are you dumb? Try to act like, oh, I don't know where he had the regular lights on, now he put the bright lights on. Maybe he's trying to help me give better lighting. No, he's trying to tell you to move the fuck out the way. Why are you standing there? He's trying to see who the fuck you are. If you a threat. Or if you just one of them big ass DC rats. That's what he's trying to figure out. Is that one of them damn big ass DC rats? All right.
I don't know. But this is what I do want to tell you. Is that I've been around the White House.
But this is what I do want to tell you. Sir, shut the fuck up. Okay, but y'all, if y'all see the YouTube, icon, that means that it's coming from YouTube. If y'all see the Facebook icon on the message that I put on the screen, that means that it's coming from his audience, the people that's commenting about his video. All right, so it's not anybody in our chat. If it has a Facebook emblem, if it has a YouTube emblem, it's from the chat.
I've gone to the north side, I've gone to the southeast side, I've gone downtown, and the one thing that I would say is a common scene here is that the people are in the house. Granted, it is a Wednesday. I don't know how different this would look if I came on a weekend, but this is a weekday. And I've talked to quite a bit of people. I have documented some of it in my camera, but I decided to not do a live today unless it was necessary.
Why would you not do a live? Thus, once again, he got stopped. Damn. Always getting stopped by the police, right? But no, y'all. This is so funny because why would you go all the way out to report on what's happening in DC? Now, every night that you've been up in your mama's house, in your mama's guest bedroom, you've been live streaming without fail every fucking night. And you mean to tell me that now that you're in DC and did a trip specifically for your viewers, it seems like, you mean to tell me you can't live stream while you out there? Seems pretty shaky to me.
And it literally was never necessary in the sense that I have had no negative interaction with the law enforcement community in DC. Talking to the residents, most people feel indifferent about it. They expressed what they would say would have been a hard first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks, people expressed that it was very, very intense. A lot of interaction. A lot of people had been arrested for various things.
You could have found that out from the news. What the hell did you need to go to DC for? And Ramona, he ain't the commander of nothing. He can command these nuts. Nah, y'all playing. Ain't no bright lights on him. Okay, I'm gonna speed him up again. Thank y'all for reminding me. I keep forgetting about, this was an ingenious idea to be able to speed him up. I can't stand you because you making me laugh so hard. Oh. Okay, so yeah, here goes some more, comments from them, y'all. You have to go inside SE off MLK Avenue and Mellon Street.
Including jaywalking, a lot of homeless people and mentally disturbed people moved off the streets. But it is so quiet and so peaceful. The effect of it, the jury is out on this. But if I was to say, based on this 2-day experience, I would say I can feel that the liberty is decreased, but the safety is increased. And so that just makes me wonder, how do you really balance safety, and liberty in.
Let me actually zoom it up a little bit more. I'm going 1.5 because he sound regular at that. All right.
City. I'm going to be going and doing some more research. I want to see, based on those arrests, what is the makeup, which communities, which demographics make up those arrests.
But couldn't you do that research while you were in Illinois? Couldn't your private investigators, your team of investigators shouldn't they have already done that research? What the hell? And then on top of that, everything that he's saying, he's talking about from 2 days, based on 2 days. Everything that he's saying, yes, we know that the people's liberties have been compromised under the guise of keeping them safe. We all know that. That's what everybody is protesting. That's what everybody is saying. So that's not any new news. So what are you doing? If you've been keeping up with what's going on in DC, every news panel, every report, they're talking about the people not wanting to be intimidated by the police. They're talking about how crime is at a 30-year low. All this stuff, nothing that's coming out of his mouth is breaking news that none of us have not heard weeks prior to him giving this, whatever this is that he calls himself, telling us, update on what's going on.
But outside of that, I think I see people freely, not many people again, but I see people freely driving. I don't see a lot of people pulled over. I've seen a couple checkpoints. I see people freely walking. There's a gentleman that's actually to my right flank right now. He's just standing outside. You don't see much interaction between this law enforcement community. And randomly, even at nighttime, you will see 2 by 2, maybe two.
Thank you for your service. Are you kidding me? Thank you for your service. I truly appreciate you for going to DC and showing us. I would love to hear from the National Guardsmen and hear what they believe. You gotta. Oh my God, these people are.
2 National Guardsmen. There's not a heavy patrol. I don't see their vehicles, but you see them in uniform, stationed randomly in spots. And so I'm just going to say I have no real thought and no real feel because in one sense, it seems like it's working. In another sense, I don't know how the hard start affected anything. But if I just be honest, listening to it or not, liking it or not, in this moment, based on everything I experienced, I feel good. I feel fine. I feel okay. I feel safe. And it don't matter what part of DC I've gone to, I actually feel safe. And so now there's a part of me that's having this internal conflict. And what that internal conflict is how do you balance liberty and safety? And that's my, my reference to thing is always, as it relates to where my values come from, it's the Bible. And the Bible says,
oh Lord, here he go trying to preach. And I'm sorry, y'all, I wasn't even listening to what he just said, so I can't even comment on it. I was actually reading the chats, but it's so funny that Succeeding said, where is the monkey? I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. Hold on.
Liberty and safety. And that's my, my reference to thing is always, as it relates to where my values come from, it's the Bible. And the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. He chastens those whom he loves. That doesn't mean that I want to see us be punished, but we got to have an honest conversation about accountability, and we got to have a conversation about discipline. And I agree with you, Skeptical JP. I don't think this is the solution, but I can't negate how I feel right now, and I can't negate my experience. And so I would say,
all right, child,
that what I would ask, how do you be effective in doing this, and what do you add to it? But please don't be mad at me for telling the truth. Just don't look back.
Y'all like my pet?
He needs to learn to communicate, not dictate. I don't disagree. But we
got-
need to learn how to
It
be
ain't a
community
monkey, but
and not just complain.
you feel?
It's a two-way street. I don't see no
Y'all like my
kids
little pet?
running around. This is fascinating. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Somebody also said something to me that was also. Somebody said something to me also that was very revealing. He said, DC wasn't never all that bad. Just certain pockets and pockets. So I don't know. I just don't know. But people can say what they want to say. But I can't. I didn't just talk about it or give an opinion about it.
But why did you come is the question. Don't nobody give a damn that you went. We want to know what you doing now. What for? What did you go there for? What's up, Dave Bryson? Thank you for coming in and joining us in the chat. All right, so y'all, let's look.
I can't. So when I talk about it now, even though 2 days is not a long length of time, I have a reference. And from my interactions and my experiences, I want to say to the men and women in uniform, thank you for your service when it's done with honor. Somebody said Georgia Avenue. I don't know what streets I've been on. I just know I've been all over the place. But
wait a minute.
And from my interaction, but I can't. I didn't just talk about it or give an opinion about it. I can't.
But okay, so he tried to make it seem like if people give an opinion and they're not there, then their opinion isn't valid. Well, sir, and because he went there for 2 days and ain't showed shit, ain't showed not a motherfucking thing about what's going on in DC. Y'all see this shit. This ain't nothing. So now he is the expert of what's going on in DC? Are you fucking kidding me? How about he don't want to be on camera. Yeah, my monkey is camera shy. Sorry, y'all. But all right, I'ma hide. We're gonna put you in give you a little shade so you feel a little bit more comfortable. Okay. All right, y'all. So but my thing is, I know people that actually live out in DC. That live there. We talk on a daily basis. So how are you supposed to be the expert? Because you went to visit there for 2 days to go find some D and some other homeless people that you can lure into your hotel room for a couple of nights allegedly. You ain't show us nothing about what was actually going on out there in DC, sir. And everything that you just gave us for an update is old information, is old news. We all have already been keeping up with DC. We all already know everything that it took you and your world-class investigative team to have to fly out to DC to figure out. We all already knew it without the flights. So the fact that your world-class investigative team and you had to do all of this to then come out and release no information that's worth any value is absurd. But you want to know what? Your sycophantic loser-ass followers, they're gonna love. They're eating this shit up like it's cake. Look at this shit. They love this. You're amazing. Thank you, Jed. DC isn't a state, though. Why don't you write the National Guards if you want to know what they believe? Hello. These people looking for Jed to do the work that they don't want to do. Because you can do the same thing. What Jed can do that you can't do? 13.8 pound right across the sidewalk. Oh. No, we haven't seen that monkey in a while. We haven't. What is going on? Jed doesn't own the monkey. He gets them from a breeder near South Carolina that intimidates him into staying quiet. Is that $5,000 monkey? Nah, this one was 10,000. This one was 10,000, and I ain't need no donations to get my monkey. My monkey, this that rare breed. This that foreign. This, y'all can't get a monkey like mine. Jed, you can't even get a monkey like this. Bet you can't get a monkey like mine. Let's see if you can get you a monkey like this. All right, y'all. In Illinois, it's illegal to keep most monkeys pets under the Endangered Animal Act. Oh, that's too funny. Lemurs and other primates. Come on, primates succeed in using that SAT word. I see you succeeding. Okay, Jed has had that monkey one day in his mama's house. Oh, he did? I want to see it. I want to see it. Uh-oh, we got Grace in the building. What's up, Grace? Okay, y'all, that was the last
So when I talk about it now, even though 2 days is not a long length of time, I have a reference. And from my interactions and my experiences, I want to say to the men and women in uniform, thank you for your service when it's done with honor. Somebody said Georgia Avenue. I don't know what streets I've been on. I just know I've been all over the place. But hope I said something that added value to your life. I'm here till tomorrow afternoon. But at 2:36, I'm ready to go lay down and get in bed.
Not the next time you see that monkey, Peter gonna be called. Not Peter. What's up, redeemed by God? What's good? Thank you for joining. Some of those Facebook pages on Jed's page are fake INA people commenting. I'm sure. I definitely could believe that. A waste of time and resources, or better yet, waste of donations. I definitely agree. I completely agree with you. Okay, and look at some of these other comments, y'all. Please come to Chicago. He was just in Chicago. I want my daughter's aunties, cousins, friends safe. My daughter's aunties, cousins, friends safe. But it's a fine line between liberty and safety. So you, right gang, for real. What the hell? You can't serve two gods. We're not children. What is going on? Okay, I don't know what these people talking about. Oh, girl, they got all types of stuff going on in this damn comment section. Bottom line is a long-term solution is still needed. Of course, it's going to be quiet and more calm when the night is there, when the National Guard is there, but it's still wrong. Okay, so a lot of people bring it to Chicago. Some people stupid talking about bring it to Chicago. Hello from Las Vegas. Okay, y'all, so I'm not gonna go through any more of those comments, but that is the stuff that I had that we can talk about, that I wanted to talk about today. So we talked about Dolton. We gave an update on the fight, guys. So we now know who the person is allegedly. We have her Facebook profile. They've filed a police report. So hopefully we see some justice. Once they've confirmed the identity, I'll go ahead and release that information. But yeah, you guys remember, y'all, just to give y'all, so y'all can remember, just in case y'all have not seen, this is just a little bit of what happened on Monday with that mom who jumped into a fight with her daughter, and she had, yes, that right there. All right. Some people thought it was a rat tail comb, but no, she's holding the knife by the blade. And I blurred her face out again, like I said, just to maintain her identity until it's been confirmed. But yes, they have found who this person is. And hopefully soon we will have an update of her arrest. So I will be looking out for that. That's how her profile look, guys. So I will be looking out for an update. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can do this. I know what I can do. Okay. All right, guys. So that is the update for that. We also talked about the school district. You guys remember the school district 148 who recently got rid of Kevin Nolte. Y'all remember now they are paying the temporary or the interim school superintendent $1,500 a day, which is insane. They have hired a new Dolton police chief, so we are going to be looking at the swearing in for the Dolton police chief on Monday, guys. So make sure that y'all tune in. Also, we talked about Country Club Hills, how that superintendent was just actually suspended indefinitely. So this is also in the south suburbs. So a lot of crazy things are going on in the schools out there in the south suburbs that we need to keep aware of. So I'll keep you guys posted. We talked about the school shooting and we talked about Jedidoodoo. All right, so now that we talked about Jedidoodoo, I think that we should go ahead and just end with a little music. And as you're coming in and as you're leaving, can y'all do me a huge favor?
Oh, you thought we was
I think y'all know what I'm gonna say.
Now we just get started. Bring that ass here, boy! You a bitch. Fake ass teeth, can't even floss that shit. Doc every month just to get them shits whitened. Ho, get in that corner for I beat you with a switch. Talk big online, bitch. You really ain't shit. Broke ass clown, you and yo slow ass mama. Look like Rumpelstiltskin. Crossbred with a llama. Jedidiah ducking shots. Big head bulletproof. Scamming on your fans. Think they all stupid goofy. Lost every case. Real talk, where the winds at?
Shanita, you wanna be a mom? You can be a mom too.
Deleting all the proof. Trying to evidence. Fake ass advocate, ho, you irrelevant. Bald head, crusty face, fake teeth. Motherfucker. Teeth slipping out, that's from all that dick sucking. Hand picking rivals while you preaching the Bible. Say you run the city, nah, you running for survival. Begging for a lawyer, cause your pockets on E. Got smoked in your cases, now you begging the people. Whole style goofy, your persona's a scam. You the type to drop the soap just to take it up the ass. Fake teeth, bald head.
Boy, you black bitch, you bring that ass here.
Like incest.
No, you black bitch, you bring that ass here again, boy.
Fake teeth, bald head. I said what I said.
All right, y'all. Okay, I'll talk to my girl LLC and see if I can join the conversation. All right, but y'all, that is the show. So again, if y'all haven't done so already, please again do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like button, I'm sorry. Also, make sure that y'all tune in to Lady Luck Club. She's gonna be doing, oh wait, that's a members only, never mind. Laura said that's members only. All right, but no, y'all make sure that all of the people who came in that have YouTube channels, Grace Levi, make sure that y'all subscribe to her channel. All in the queue, make sure that y'all subscribe. Status Quo, all of the people in here who have YouTube channels, please make sure y'all go and support their channel as well. And until the next video, guys, I will see y'all on the next one.